Hi friends, it is hot outside. We had a nice few days where it was like close to 80, but it wasn't humid. It was very nice. But the pollen is finally going away. I'm still a little froggy. I didn't get to cut any of my peonies and bring them in because I don't want to cause a reaction, so I'm just enjoying them while I'm outside. This morning I watered and I potted up some of the medicinals that had outgrown their pots. So the meadowsweet, the nettles, some of them were actually overtaking into some of the other containers. They had seeded themselves. I have potted up some of these baby nettles that I had left from the plant sale. The plant sale was a success, but we still have lots of plants left over. So I have friends coming and gathering plants. The garden is pretty much mostly planted. The containers are mostly done. We've got citronella and lemongrass here with some dahlias to keep the mosquitoes away. Those yellow squash I got from a friend because last year, if you remember, I had no squash. I think I got like 4 because the vine borers were so bad, which is why I'm doing the squash and the melons in containers. I just want to make sure that wasn't bugs, it's just soil. So the green stalks are doing well. I have not fertilized them yet. I don't know, other people have like really great success with their plants getting huge. They must fertilize a lot more than I do because I don't really fertilize. I always forget. And some of the soil is, even though I added new soil, it's very condensed. So, but these are blooming. This is the second year. These are a type of chamomile, because you can tell by so it's an aster family. And look, we've got a string bean starting. That's exciting. The romaine is doing good. The red leaf lettuce, those are both bought. This romaine was from seeds of mine. But you can see that there has been, I'm trying to clean up as we go, there's been some issues. Again, it was hot, then it was cold, it was hot, then it was cold. We had a lot of rain, now we've had no rain. So plants, they kind of want consistency. And when it's not consistent, it's not great. So we're 3 days away from the solstice, which is why our St. John's wort is blooming, which is exciting. So this is the native St. John's wort, the wild one. Our feverfew is in bloom, which I take every day to try to ward off migraines and pain. Ow, I just got stuck by the raspberry. But this is what is left from the plant sale. So there's still lots of tulsi left. There's toothache, there's chamomile, clary sage, huckleberry, more tulsi, more calendula. I'm trying to think what else is in the front. There's a few borges, some mulleins are left. You can see the pixie strawberry. Daylilies are in bloom. The milkweed is getting started. So hopefully we'll soon have some monarchs laying eggs. Rudbeckia. Everything was really, really dry this morning. This is a hodgepodge of a mess, but I did get some raspberries before the birds, which is exciting because usually every year I don't get any raspberries. The birds get all of them. You could see this mullein is going to bloom this year. Mullein is a biennial. And it's great. You could smoke it for lung things. You can use the flowers to make an oil, which is good for ear infections. But it's really supportive of the respiratory system. I don't like to say use this plant for this because I feel like the plants are so more useful than that. They have so many options if we just were open to what they could do. So when I was really struggling with my respiratory system, I was taking lots of different homeopathic remedies and they would start to work and then they would stop working. And something told me, go harvest the honeysuckle. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll harvest the honeysuckle. I had a little bit left from last year. And it was like, oh, make a tea from that. I'm like, all right, I'll make a tea from it. And the thing is, so I've been doing this for 10 years, right? Foraging, plant medicine, making tinctures and infused oils and all that jazz. And I still question, like, well, let me just double check in my book. Let me just see what's going on. And invariably, I looked up honeysuckle and it was like, supports the respiratory system. I was like, oh, all right. So earth medicine is the original medicine. And it's been around for thousands of years because it works. Calendula is keeping our strawberries happy. And this is the thing, like when you doubt it and you don't use it, only you don't get the benefit of it. Like Mother Nature is always offering. You just have to be open to it. Like, look at these beautiful calendulas. They're so happy, sunny and bright. And the bees really like them, right? And they're just nice to look at. Some of these carrots started to bolt, so I pulled them. They were so fibrous. I put them in dog food, and even she was like, not so much. She spit it out. She was like, no. So the thing is, it's like, if you can be open to what is being provided for you in this earth medicine, there's so much here, right? Being in harmony with Mother Nature, being in harmony with the plants. Like, this is what I talk about all the time because it's so important, because this is all we've ever known. And we're so disconnected from it, right? We revere technology now, but how's that working out for you? Like, it doesn't work out well for me. I don't know about it if it works out well for the rest of you, but it doesn't really make me feel better. You know, I've said before, like, I don't want to go back to days before indoor plumbing, but I mean, come on. Like, I don't need to be on the computer 24/7. I don't need a screen in my face all the time with people posting what they're doing in their life, making me feel bad that I'm not doing those things, or I don't have the life that they have, or, you know, this constant competition, this constant keeping up with the Joneses. Like, it's not healthy. And this is why we have such an epidemic of mental illness. This is why people have chronic disease, is because they're constantly in this, like, rat race of trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing and trying to do, you know, so that they can look great on social media and they can show all of the things that they've done. It's not practical, it's not realistic, and it's a good way to burn yourself out. And I'm not trying to, you know, paint this picture of like, if you do these things, you're a bad person. But I just want you to have an awareness of how you're spending your time. And is it really beneficial? Is it really helpful? Is it really making a difference? Does it really make you feel better spending all that time on social media? Does it really? Because it doesn't for me. So for you, you might be an anomaly. But I mean, this is all research. It shows that people who spend lots of time on the computer, on social media, one, you're disconnected from your true intelligence, the true wisdom that exists within you, as well as the true intelligence that exists within Mother Nature. Like, this is why I go outside as much as I do. One, it grounds me, it connects me, right? Other than the raspberries cutting into me because they're annoyed that I pulled them. It's this, you know, bigger thing than me. I didn't create any of this. But I'm here to foster it. I'm here to care for it. I'm here to assist it in any way that I can. I'm here to maintain and help promote, to empower people to use plant medicine. You know, I had a talk last week about earth medicine being the original medicine and how vaccines and pills and pharmaceuticals are actually really disruptive to your system. Your system was designed to heal. Your system was designed to maintain a balance. And when you get in the way with using your brain because you think your brain knows better than the body, the whole system, you create more issues for yourself, right? Like, you know, someone was having what I was having. She's like, oh, I'm just going to take Benadryl. I'm just going to go take some like allergy medicine. And I'm like, well, just do what I'm doing. No, I'm going to take the Benadryl. But you stop the process of what the body is already doing. So is this annoying that I still have this thing where my throat still hurts and I'm still sound congested, but I'm really not congested, and I'm still kind of sneezing and coughing, but it's not as bad as it was? Like, is it annoying? Yeah. It's almost 2 weeks, but I know that it's the cleansing that my body is doing. It's the natural detoxification process that my body is running. And because I know this, because I understand more than the normal person about how my body works, I'm allowing it to do it. I'm just using things to support it, to make it a little bit easier on myself, right? So I'm drinking lots of nettle tea. I'm drinking lots of fluids. I'm taking homeopathic remedies. I'm taking lots of baths. I'm resting a lot. I'm taking naps. Like, I never took naps. Even at the worst of my sickness, I never took naps. I'm taking lots of naps. And that's okay. And it gets to look however it's going to look, right? I was able to do some stuff in the garden this morning. I got some pennyroyal planted, some thyme planted. I, cleaned some stuff up yesterday. I weeded in the front. I got some calendula planted in the front. And I felt it, like I pushed myself yesterday. And so I had to take it easy this morning, right? Not do everything I wanted to do. But I'm working with my body. When I tried to do stuff last week and the pollen was still bad, like I started immediately coughing. I started immediately sneezing, and I was like, oh, yeah, not today. Not today. And I learned that through years of fighting against my body. Years of thinking my mind knew better than my body. Years of believing I could bully my body into submission to do what I wanted it to do. And you know where that got me? Nowhere. If anything, I got sicker. I had more symptoms. I was more fatigued. I was more depressed. I had more pain. Because the body is so much smarter than we give it credit for. Just like Mother Earth. I just planted some stuff. Mother Earth took over. Like, I'm not a heavy fertilizer, right? And things that actually struggle, like when you forage for weeds and stuff, those are not plants that we're cared for. They only get water when it rains. They don't get fertilizer. If they have pests, no one's picking the pests off them. But because they're not cared for in the traditional sense of what you would cultivate and plant and grow, they're stressed, but they're more medicinally potent. But when you're stressed, are you more medicinally potent? No, you're not. You're more disconnected. You're more overwhelmed. You're more anxious. You're more depressed. You're more, triggered easily. You're quicker to anger. You feel more overwhelmed. The to-do list never ends. It never ends anyway, but it feels just like it's constant. There's this constant exhaustion of being on the hamster wheel, trying all the things, and it just doesn't change. And if you watch Mother Nature, she surrenders to that, right? So these plants will die back. They will hibernate. They will have their season of winter, their season of rest, and then they'll come back in their glory, right? Like, I don't do a lot to support them. These strawberries, I've never fertilized them. They can consistently give off runners and have new berries, and sometimes I get some. I think I got more this year than normal. But most of these plants, I'm not actively cultivating them. It's kind of like whatever's going to grow is going to grow. And yes, there are things I would love to cultivate. I would love to grow. I would love this okra to take off. I would love to get some okra this year. But if I don't, I'm not going to sleep over it. I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get a great, tomato crop. I grew a lot of Romas this year to get more plum tomatoes for sauce and crushed tomatoes because we didn't really have a lot last year. The frost came early. But it's all temporary. It's really not permanent. It's a constant flux. It's a constant adjustment. It's a constant wax and wane, right? As one thing dies back, something else comes forward. As one thing is in bloom, something else is going dormant, right? So the hydrangeas in bloom, the irises are growing dormant. The hellebore are holding on to their flowers, but really their leaves are growing more. The lobelia is getting ready to bloom, right? The St. John's wort, hopefully this one will have some blooms. It's a younger plant. But that's the beauty of Mother Earth, is there's always a flux, there's always a consistency, there's always a balance. The yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the death and the alive. How can you incorporate that into your own life? How can you feel more alive? How can you feel more in balance? How can you connect more with Mother Earth and less with technology? The answers are within you, but they're also within Mother Earth. They're not on the computer. They're not on social media. They're not on Facebook. They're not, coming out of some guru's mouth. The answers you need to hear are within you. You just need to find the quiet, the way to connect that's best for you. Until next time, friends, have a great solstice.